When changing a tire, the vehicle should be parked on a flat, hard surface. If it's parked on a slope, the jack could tip over, or if the ground is soft underneath the jack, it could settle down into the mud or gravel and also tip over. You can check the owner's manual for exactly where the jack is located and the spare tire. You can also see the jack points where they're located on the vehicle. The spare tire for this particular vehicle is located under the flap in the back of the hatch. Got the jack here. Here's the lug wrench, spare tire, and another part of the lug wrench that tightens the jack up or turns the jack up and down. You can take the jack out. Pull the spare tire out. Just behind the tire for the front, or in front of the back tire, on the metal frame right here, is this flat part of the metal. That's where this slot goes into on the jack. So that'll fit in there just like that. So you want to make sure you're jacking on this part of the metal. See where that's cut out right there? It's kind of dipped out. That's your jack point. You don't want to put it on a piece of plastic here or here, because it'll tear that plastic up. So make sure the jack's on that metal. So get it close, and you can twist it by hand to get it up there. See how that's fitting in that slot right there? Once that gets snug, I can start using the lug wrench. I'm going to put the lug wrench together, put the flat part inside the slotted hole. Your jack may be a little different than this one. This is just what came with the vehicle. I'm going to turn it just enough to take a little bit of pressure off of the tire, but I don't want to jack it up so high that the tire is actually off the ground, because I need to loosen those lug nuts. If you've ever bought tires from a dealer or had your tire worked on at a shop, they put those lug nuts on with an air wrench, so they're very tight, and you got to break those loose. See how tight that is? So an easy way to get that off is to stand on it, make sure it's seated right. You can stand on that lug wrench and just break it loose. You don't want to take them all the way off or loosen them all the way up, because the tire is not really off the ground yet. So just break them loose for now. Some lug wrenches will have a little extra leverage you can open up to help break those lug nuts loose. Okay, they're all broken loose, so now I'm going to jack the car up a little higher, get the tire up off the ground. Now I can loosen the lug nuts all the way. Now the tire's off the ground. Grab the spare tire. And lift it up a little bit to line up the holes with the lug nuts. Get it started by hand. Just kind of get them about finger tight and just get them started. When you're tightening up these lug nuts, you want to do it in kind of a star pattern. So you want to alternate. Basically on this one, skip every other one. So I'll start here, and then go here, here, and here. That way you're putting the tire on, sucking it up tight evenly, and you're not getting one side tight and having the tire on crooked. You don't want to make them completely tight at this point because you'd be putting a lot of pressure on that jack and it'll rock the car back and forth and could tip that jack over. So I'm just snugging them up tight enough where they're holding the wheel in place where it's supposed to be, and then I'll come back and take some of the pressure off the jack and tighten them up more. Double checking to make sure I got all of them a little snug but not tight. Okay. Now I'm going to lower the jack down and put a little bit of the vehicle weight on the ground. Now the tire's touching the ground, I can go ahead and snug these up good and tight. Again, I'm going to alternate every other bolt. Then I want to go back through and double check them, make sure I didn't miss one. And you can lower the jack all the way down at that point. See how the jack's tilting already just a little bit from me tightening up those lug bolts. So you got to be real careful having the jack up high and putting too much pressure on those lug nuts, because it will tip over. go. And that's how you change a tire.